So then, if I can't hear myself, I will talk gibberish. That's not cool at all. Well, hello, Jensa. Welcome back, man. Great to see you. Aaron. Arian. I guess it's Arian. Arian. Yeah, I think so. Hey, man. Great you're watching. You moved the recording place. Maybe the light in the back is a little different, and it's a little bright. It's causing a flare. I think I need to adjust that. Let me try that for a sec. Let me see. I need to go into my private Home Assistant instance, which is a mess, by the way. But yeah, I moved my desk a little. So I don't have the TV in my back, right? If you remember, you could see the TV. So, not the first night you were recording in the veranda? No, it's not a veranda. I'm still in my living room. It's still the same spot, only 90 degrees rotated, that's it. No, I'm still in the same spot, just rotated 90 degrees, that's it. Like, I could try it. I still record using my iSight camera from the Mac, from the iMac. And, well, yeah, I think I need to get a real webcam or something, or something more useful than this thing. So I'm going to arrange that, but I can show you. If I want to show it to you, I have to rotate my whole iMac, so that's not a thing. I think it's this light. Can I tune it down a little? Yeah, but it still is flaring. Ah, this is a little better. I'm dark, but okay. So, 7 viewers. Great. Hi guys. Thank you for watching and tuning in. Tonight, what's tonight? Yesterday, the stream of yesterday was pretty successful. I think we did an awesome stream, and we did some awesome jobs. Like, we created and shipped the new IDE add-on, like version 0.3.0 with the Raspberry Pi support in it. And during the times we were waiting for IDE add-on to build, we started working at a new add-on, mainly an add-on that is for these suckers, the UniFi access points. So tonight the goal is to continue working on that, trying to get the control up and running. And we actually succeeded yesterday to get a basic add-on running with the UniFi control software running. So that's a pretty big step. And tonight we have to continue to make it a proper add-on, see if I can add some configuration options like SSL. SSL must be working. I think SSL is very important in your Home Assistant setup. So let's see if we can get that to work. And secondly, let's see if this thingy, which I hooked up, by the way, you can see the LED is lighting up. This one is still in a, yeah, well, an adopted state, as it's called. It's not paired with anything, so we can pair the sucker up. So that's kind of the goal of tonight, I guess. Some more, like an announcement. I'm home alone. Well, not home alone, the kids are home. And that's why I'm a little late tonight. My 10-month-old son refused to sleep. And well, I put him in bed and he's quiet now. But he may start crying. That's like having a small child, right? So if he starts crying, I will put the stream on a break and well, I feed him or shh him, and well, we continue. So that's the thing for tonight. I hope it works. I've started streaming this week, so it's all kind of still new to me, and I'm still experimenting with everything. And well, streaming while I'm home alone with kids is also a thing I need to try. I'm not sure. I love my t-shirt. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the Home Assistant shirt, right? But you already noticed. Okay. No coffee tonight. I had so much coffee today. So I will keep it with some refreshments. This also means I didn't prepare anything. Like not anything at all. So I'm going to boot up everything I need. The only thing I did is boot up a Vagrant environment, which I'm going to be using a lot tonight. Yeah, let's get in it. If you guys have any questions of some kind, or doesn't matter, anything, doesn't have to be related to the things you're seeing right now or tonight, feel free to put them in the chat. I will do my best to answer them, yeah, as good as I can. Okay, let's switch to my desktop. Let's see what's in here. Obviously OBS. Let's put this away. It's okay, let's put this away as well. It's my Twitter. Oh, look at this. This is a nice Twitter message. Like, look at this. 50% of billing processes done for HashOS 0.4 beta. I'm so awaiting that new OS. It's going to be so much better than we currently do. So Pascal's actually doing a pretty good job there. It's amazing. The guy is working his ass off to get it out. Oh, and for this 64-bit Raspberry support, that's like the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. Yeah, couldn't they just call it Raspberry Pi 64 or something, just like Nintendo did? But okay, let's put away Twitter as well. Yeah, I'll leave the chat open. I don't know. Okay, so I've booted up Vagrant. I hope the music isn't too loud, by the way. I hear a different balance than you guys. I can tweak the balance on my microphone. Okay, so I booted up Vagrant, a fresh Vagrant box. So this is it, by the way. It's Hash.io running a Vagrant. It's totally empty now, so I can start working in here. And my local add-ons are loaded, and those are on my disk. Let's go to another tab. Let's open Visual Studio Code with a new UniFi add-on. Hey Frank, what's the software used to monitor? What was the software used to monitor your Hash.io server? Okay, I'm not sure what you are trying to ask me there, by the way. Maybe you can clarify it a little. Okay. Meanwhile, let me continue. Okay. This is the new UniFi add-on I'm working on. Yesterday, I got some kind of Docker file running. It was not installed on Docker. Jensa is asking, what was the software you used to monitor your Hash.io server? It was not installed on Docker. Yes, it is. It's installed on Docker. To monitor your system specs. Oh, you're referring to something totally different. You're referring to NetData. Okay. Do I have a NetData? Yes, I have a NetData available in my Vagrant machine as well. Let me show you. Let me pull back a little. Hop. This is when this is what the Vagrant box puts out when you boot it up. And as you can see, there are three different types of URLs in here. One is an internal URL, one is an external URL, and that pair is listed 3 times. One is for Home Assistant, of course, the 813 port, 8123, and Portainer. And Portainer is something you can manage Docker in. Let me show you. And this is all running on the same Vagrant machine, which I use for development. And this is actually a web interface for Docker. Like, I can see what's running right now. Portainer, of course, which we're looking at right now, you can see the hash.io supervisor running and Home Assistant. This is a clean install, so those are the only two things running. But as soon as I start running add-ons, they will show up as well. And what this thing is awesome is like I can click here, and see all the details, which is pretty cool. But you can do even things like this, like give me a command line. And now I'm straight into the Docker image that is running Home Assistant right now. So that makes debugging very easy and useful and quick. I could do this by command line, but this is just so visual and so much easier than other tools. So that's one of the tools that's in the Vagrant box I use for development. The other tool is the tool Jens you were talking about. That's net data. Let me show you net data. This is the net data. This is a real-time performance monitor, and it shows me everything that's running right now in this Vagrant machine live. The usual suspects are there, like CPU and the load of the system, disk usage, the memory usage, network, everything you expect. But the awesome thing about this is it will actually hook up into Docker as well. So if you look at this side, we can see Home Assistant here. And if I click on it, I will get the data for Home Assistant only, like the running Docker container. It shows me the memory usage and the CPU usage of the Docker container running Home Assistant. And this is pretty useful in case of add-on development. Because it's so easy to push out an add-on that has an issue with memory usage or CPU usage, so it's a good thing to monitor it. And I can actually watch it using this tool. And I added this tool because I created an add-on that it's called Aircast. And Aircast is the bridge between AirPlay and Google Chromecast. And that thing was eating up CPU cycles like 100%. So you had one CPU that was fully used. And I missed that one. So this is a pretty decent tooling to prevent those kind of issues up front. So I hope this answers your question about the Vagrant development environment and the tools I'm using in here. Jens, you're welcome, mate. Okay, so Portainer and net data is also in my Vagrant image, which I use for the development. And this is actually the hash.io running inside the Vagrant machine. And the nice thing about this is that the directory, add-ons directory in the hash.io is actually shared to my host system that is running the Vagrant. So my computer, on disk, there's actually the add-ons folder. Let me show you. If I hit the add-ons folder inside Vagrant, you will see all my add-ons listed in here. And if I go to the add-on store, there's a little heading here, like local add-ons, which shows all the add-ons that are on my disk. And the cool thing about it is that all these add-ons are built on click, so if I hit install, I will get a fresh built add-on. So everything I modify on this disk will be modified in this Home Assistant instance as well. So that's pretty easy, right? I change some things, I hit install in this virtual environment, and I can see the add-on actually running before I use Git. So this gives me a short route to debug and reduces the number of Git commits I need to make. So I don't have to commit stupid stuff like stupid errors and stuff. I think we all know that happens, right? Yeah. So let's continue where I was. Yeah. So this is the Vagrant. I leave this one here for reference for myself. And I have a new tab with add-on UniFi directory open. And I have the Visual Studio opened with the add-on. And what we've done until now is creating a Docker file that actually installs Java and installs an older version of MongoDB, which is required for UniFi, and some other dependency UniFi needs. And so far so good. It downloads the UniFi latest version, which is 5.7.28, and it tries to install it, cleans up a little at the end, and all the rest is like copying the root file system, which is listed right here. There are files in it like service files and requirement checks and all that kind of stuff, and we're going to extend this tonight. And the last piece of the build script in Docker file is setting some labels. Like the IO hash labels are used internally by hash.io, and these are official Docker schema files, which tells users of the container something. If you look up my add-ons on MicroBadger or on any other service, you will probably see this as a reference. They are able to see the title of the actual thing in it based on the image file, which is pretty cool. So that's the Docker file we created yesterday. We created a service, UniFi service, which has a finish script, which does nothing but, okay, if the UniFi controller crashes or dies, what to do next. Depending on the exit code of why the failure happened, it will try to restart. So if it just normally exits, it will just restart the service. But if it exits with an error, it will just kill the add-on, which is the best practice for Docker, actually. This is the run script, which starts the UniFi controller. It executes Java with a memory limitation, and then actually starts UniFi. So this is what we created. Then we have a folder container init, which initializes the container on start. Every time the add-on starts, all sh scripts in here will be executed in order they are listed. In this case, I added a little requirement check script that checks if the user has enabled SSH. Oh, sorry, not SSH, SSL. Damn. If it's enabled SSL, it will check if the cert file is actually set, if the key file is actually set, and if they exist. If one of those don't exist, well, what's the use of enabling SSL, right? So if it doesn't exist, it will die with an appropriate error message, so the user can see, oh, maybe I made a typo in the cert file. So that's the current state we are in right now. The readmes are probably pretty empty, some lorem ipsums in here, some basic stuff. The build JSON, which shows which Docker images to use for each architecture, and we're using my own Ubuntu base images for this add-on. So it's Ubuntu based, this add-on. The configuration file, which I go to in a sec, the icon and the logo, I've added it today. Then we have a build script, which is for GitLab CI, which I use to build. And in the bottom here is some pretty useless file. In the bottom we have the UniFi README, the documentation, which is basically a basic template at this moment and does not contain anything useful. But before pushing it out, yeah, well, I need to type a lot, like all the options therein, and a screenshot, proper screenshot, how it looks, and tell a little story about it. What is it for? So, well, you know the drill. If you installed any of my add-ons, you probably have seen the docs I create. So, yeah. So this is the state we're currently in. And let me show you how it looks at this moment. Here's the UniFi controller from my local add-ons with a proper lorem ipsum in it. And well, the shows up as there's a nice little logo. Let's hit install. And what this install button does is actually trigger Docker and build this container using the Docker file that I provided. Based on an Ubuntu base image. And well, it will then execute each of these commands until it's finished. Right. That was a long story, right? Time for some action. So what I need to figure out is how can I pre-configure things in UniFi. Like right now I have an image which is a totally empty image with just UniFi installed, and it will start. But a Docker image is non-persistent. Like anything you put in is gone after restart. So we've got to save the data outside the Docker container in order to... oh, look, there it is. We got to get the data outside of the Docker container so it survives after a reboot or a restart of the add-on. So that's a thing for the to-do list as well. And maybe we could start there in order to actually hook up one of those things without losing data between the reboots and retries we do. Yeah? Okay. UniFi controller. It's installed. And this is freshly built. And what you would see right now is because of this add-on is locally built, it's built on demand, a rebuild button appears. And this button allows me to rebuild the add-on with the current files on disk. So if I would change something in here like this and I would hit rebuild, it would actually try to rebuild it with those useless enters in them. Something is happening on my stream. I hear it bleep. So, Vrij legit. I don't know, man. Thank you for the follow. I'm not sure how to pronounce your nickname, by the way. I'm sorry. Fryle JD, that's probably it, right? Fryle JD. Thank you for the follow, mate. Thank you to have you aboard. Okay, so that's the rebuild button. If you click it, it will just rebuild the add-on from scratch on demand, which removes the need for installing and installing the cycle. It's like the update button, but not with the update, but building again. It's like a more heavy update button. That's the best thing I can explain right now. Okay, the options for SSL are already in, but they don't work. So we need to fix that as well. But let me hit start. Let's see what happens. I fixed the UI button already. In the configuration.json, you can see here a web UI configuration option, which checks if SSL is enabled or not, the host, which you're currently visiting, and the port, which is referenced in here. So if I click this, it will actually open port 8080. And look at this, it's already some kind of a working thing. And it finds my new UniFi device already, so that's great. This is a new device, it's only running for 41 minutes, that's correct, I hooked it up recently. But it finds it, so we already are pretty successful at this moment. Yeah. So let's get back. So this is the state of the UniFi add-on at this moment. I have found some references, like this one. This guy actually built a Docker file for UniFi. There are multiple sources out there, which come in pretty handy in case you are building an add-on. But we can't use a normal Docker file, right? We want to expose the configuration options into the Home Assistant interface, and we want to interact with Home Assistant and do smart things, and maybe even more things in the future. But they do come in handy, like this guy probably has some options here, right? Okay, he has some volumes, and he has some fire. Look at this. Those are pretty neat. And you can actually learn from those. If you create an add-on, you can actually try to see what's happening in these add-ons and mimic that, like in a hash-IO way, but the logic will be pretty much the same, right? Oh, look at this. Certificate support. To use custom SSL search, you must map a volume with the search in /unifi/cert. Okay, that's a bit of a deal breaker, but we can work around that. If your certificate has a different name, you can set an environment variable. Oh, that's pretty cool. We can probably work around that. Yeah. Okay. Another image I found which was pretty useful at this moment is the Orange Docker UniFi Raspberry Pi, which is also a Raspberry Pi, which is also a Docker UniFi thing, but for Raspberry Pi specifically. The thing with my add-on, by the way, is that I support everything in one add-on. So this is specifically for a Raspberry Pi, and this one is specifically for Intel machines. But my add-on is specifically for all of them and in one run, which makes it a little bit more difficult. So, and they both use totally different approaches as well. So I think I'm kind of picking the best of both and trying to work around stuff that are needed in order to support everything. But so far so good. I've been pretty successful up until now. Let me look. What is this guy doing? This is an interesting line. Like, this guy is linking var lib UniFi to user lib UniFi data. And I'm still wondering why. Not sure why yet. Since var lib data, I don't know, man. Could be interesting. var lib UniFi. So is he using that folder to persist the storage? Let us see. With Docker and Docker Compose. So he has a compose file. Okay, let's look at the compose file. Okay, look at this. He uses the user lib. Yeah. He uses the var lib UniFi to actually store data. And since he mapped data into the var lib UniFi folder, it will be in the config as well. Pretty cool. He places the logs outside of the container. As is this and the run. I'm not sure why. Okay, let's check. Let's check what happens. As I told at the beginning of this stream, you can actually go inside and running it on. Let's do that and see what's happening there. Let's go to Portainer. And I have now 4 running containers. One of them is the UniFi add-on, which I can now simply connect into and get into the console, right? And let's see what it created. Oh, I have a notification. That's pretty bad, right? Checking your mobile on stream? I'm not sure. Sparky Dave. Jensa. Oh my god, Jensa, thank you for the coffee, man. Awesome. I really appreciate that. Thank you, mate. Okay. Okay, we have Mongo running right here. We have Mongo running, and Mongo is going to user lib data. User lib UniFi data, probably. I wonder if we could change that. Is there some settings file or anywhere, somewhere? I'm not sure. No UniFi. Okay. Okay, this seems like the UniFi stuff, that's for sure. What's in here? Oh, look at this. This is pretty cool. Like, each UniFi instance would require a set of ports. Like, could I create multiple UniFi instances? Okay. Bottom redirector, throughput port. Nice. UUID. Not sure if I should store that, by the way. Is that created on start? Probably. Yeah, this seems something I really need to persist, right? This whole data directory. So we need to persist this. So let's create a file that takes care of that. Like 50 $50, what should we call it? Persist data? Persist data. For now, we can always change it, right? And we need to persist this. So I'm going to save it in a comment. Let's open this. Let's paste it in. No problems. Yeah, well, I really appreciate it, Jensa. I really do. I drink an awful lot of coffee, so I'm going to drink a coffee on you. Thank you. So, okay. Let's update this, like create logic. Okay, lorem ipsum. We're going to do this later. Lorem ipsum. And we need to persist this folder somewhere. That's for sure. So it's now documented, and let's go continue. What else is in here? Like the logs. Are those interesting at all? Yeah, they are. I should look into a possibility to get these into the hash logs, into the add-on output instead of files. Like if you create add-on log files, as in Home Assistant does it, like in the configuration folder you will find a Home Assistant.log. And the thing with this is that it builds up, it becomes bigger and bigger. And since it's stored outside of Docker containers, it will grow and grow and grow and grow. And eventually your SD card is running out of memory, right? So I tend to avoid storing growing things outside of the Docker container, like log files, but they are useful. So let's find a way to get this output actually into the add-on output, which will be pretty useful as well. You can still look at it, you can see if there are any problems, but like 99.9% of the time you don't need them anyway. So okay, this is an interesting folder. Not sure. Let's leave it at here. We have a bin folder, which is what is in here. MongoDB, of course. Ubuntu App Tool. I'm new to this all. I have no experience whatsoever with this UniFi crap. Sorry, not crap. This beautiful UniFi access points. Okay, this is a running thingy, which we probably could learn from. No, it's just an init script. This thing just starts UniFi, but I'm using my own container init manager, which is built for Docker specifically, which is called S6. So I don't need this. This bin file is useless to me. What's in DL? Firmware downloads. Okay, we'll leave it at there. Well, are all those firmware in here? Is this something I should persist? I'm not sure. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm afraid I get a cold. I'm not sure. My son is already like sniffing all day. So all those tissues here. Okay, the lib folder is not interesting for me. What's in the run folder? Okay, here's a socket. Here's an update.json, which I keep typing VI, which I don't have at this moment. Okay, so this checks for updates. This might need persistency. Like, you don't want to miss an update because of a restart, right? So let's write this one down as well. But like the other guy did, it was persisting the whole run folder, which is a bad idea since the socket is in here, and I would absolutely avoid getting Docker of socket files stored persistently. That's just hell on earth. Okay, so work. What's work? Hard copy. I'm not sure what's in here. Maybe we need to pair up actually one of those thingies to see what's in there. Okay. run. We already had run. Web apps, and I guess this is just the web interface in here. Yeah, pages, app UniFi. This is the actually Java app that you see in the front. Okay. I think I'm going to use Google. I would expect some kind of configuration file somewhere, right? If any of you ever used UniFi, there must be some kind of thing. Okay. UniFi configuration file. It might be the lamest query ever, but it's pretty successful. Okay, so there is a config.properties file. By default, it does not exist, which makes sense, right? I could look all day if it doesn't exist. What does this thing do? And is there anything? Okay, so it does not exist. The user must create in order to use it, since the config properties file is to define a site-wide parameters for UniControl. Data sites the sites, but I don't have a site yet. So this is useless. Okay. System and properties files explained, and this is the thing we already run across, right? Which has some HTTPS support. While they do document everything at UniFi or YubiKitty, it's just how way you look at it. I find some of the documentation like pretty incomplete, which Home Assistant has as a problem as well. But like yesterday, I tried to reset this thing. There's a little reset thingy which you need like a paper clip or something else, like this is my iPhone SIM card removal thingy, to actually hit. And the documentation wrote, press it for 10 seconds and it will reset. Fine. Like, okay, does it need to be booted? Should I hold it while powered on? How long does it take until it's done? How can I see if it's done? Like, those things are pretty essential, right? It wasn't in there, so okay. Far lab UniFi. Okay. Isn't it stored in UniFi data or something? So let's check. Oh, I got a Twitter notification. Let me check. I always like Twitter notifications. The Super Home Assistant is added again. Come watch if you're not. IoT. Oh, well, that's pretty great. Thank you, Jason. I'm not sure if you're in here, but thank you very much for that great compliment. I'm going to like this. Okay. For lip, you said. Let's check it. Okay, there's something in here, but it's an empty folder, so wah, 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 wah. So UniFi would not exist. I don't think there is any, but I'm going to look at the add-on by Jacob. Like, he is doing something with SSL, right? Like, he's doing this, so there must be something like things in here. Volumes, for lab UniFi. Yeah, he's storing the. These are the legacy volumes, so we should not use them. Search. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you should not touch that. Indeed. Pit file. Okay, I'm going to look in his folder. Let me look. So they have an entry point. I think this thing is actually arranging it all. Okay, this is an exit handler, so that's a trap. The trap is a thing that in Bash that actually is triggered as soon as the process kills and dies. Ah, here it is, the trap. It registers the exit handler as a trap. So as soon as this bash script finishes or gets killed, based on the signal, it will trigger the action function. I think the configuration is created once you set up your first site. Yeah, well, that's a little bit of an issue for me. But let's look. Like, you want to have these things up and running with a click, right? If you click the install button and you hit the start button, you want to be ready, set, and go, right? You want to have maybe turn on SSL, and that's it. I'm pretty sure that the two things, the basic things that I think I should do is at least store the data persistently, because without it, it would be useless. And secondly, support SSL. Like, you must be able to enable it, and just it should work out of the box. It's fine if it's just in the system itself, like the Plex add-on. The Plex add-on actually support SSL, but there's no way for me to actually manage it. So I ensured it's open. I am sure you can enable it, but yeah. Okay, but that's an option as well. But if I can do it automated, it would be better for the user experience, I guess. Okay, so this does all this configurations. This is something like it generates. This modifies the system properties file. Okay. I guess I don't need that since I'm mapping ports. Starting UniFi. This sets capabilities to Java. I might need this as well. But I wonder why. Okay, never mind. Like, I expect something like SSL cert in here, and like HTTPS? No, nothing. Like, okay, but how? Let's look inside his whole repository in this case. Like, cert name is used somewhere. Let's try. Search, cert name. Where are you? Oh. So there's a function here, like import cert. Holy moly. What the hell is this? Oh my god. This is going to be fun as hell. So this looks for a cert file. It creates a key store with a key tool. Holy moly. Well, this is no fun. But I don't think this is like the SSL certificate I'm expecting. This is not enabling the SSL interface, I guess. If so, it looks a little bit weird. Maybe I can just set up the SSL right in here. Like, can I do that? Let me see. Oh, I need a password. This looks like the best password in the world. Admin password. Oh, that's not a password. Just admin@example.com. Finish it. No. Okay. So is there anything like SSL in here? Controller. Okay, can you set your domain? That's the security, that's admin. Come on guys, does any of you have some of these things like this system? Like I'm looking at it like it makes me look like an idiot a little bit. But hey, it's the first time I'm seeing all this. I'm not even aware of what this thing is capable of, which I'm hoping to find out soon. Enable advanced features. Well, that's something you would like, right? Okay, never mind. Port remapping, no. SSH. Oh, cool. You can SSH into the devices. Oh, that's cool. Networks, routing, firewall, IPS, DPI, guest control. This thing is pretty complicated. Like, I have, but I don't run it with SSL. Okay. Oh, that's fine. Thank you, Shabby, at least. Oh, services. Radius. Okay, this is all SIP. What the hell? Oh, I do SIP. Okay. UPnP. Turn it off. If you have UPnP, turn it off. Never ever use it again. Unless you have an Xbox and you would like to game online. I'm not sure. Can you actually fix this? Okay, I'm thinking about pulling out Google again. Maintenance firmware. No firmware download set here. Okay, automatic backup. So that's the data folder. We saw a backup folder there. Okay, nothing in here. Okay, live chat support. Oh, we could always ask, right? Clients, devices, statistics. Okay, so I did not see anything about SSL certificates, which worries me a little. Okay, UniFi, web interface, SSL certificates. Yeah. Oh. So this is creating a new, and this is importing a certificate. Is that the thing that other guy Jacob was doing? Like, instead of he was doing all kind of things. But can I just run import cert? Is that it? Is he doing that as well? Yeah, it's called import cert, but that's not the import cert I expected. This is fooling around with. Or is he overriding the import cert for something different? That could be as well. Let me check his Docker file. Is there a copy command in here? Yeah, he's overriding some import cert thingy. And functions as well. That's interesting. Let's look at those. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Let's look at those. Oh. What the hell am I doing? Use a lib UniFi in my case, right? Yeah. But I don't have them. So this is something he uses. Okay. But what is that import cert function the manual writes about? Like, this is the executable for UniFi almost. Ace. No, lib ace. Yeah. Does it put out anything? Yeah, it does. Okay. So this imports a certificate into UniFi. This is a new certificate. And if you have a CR signed CA, but this is like the whole signing procedure that we don't need. That's why probably Jacob is working around it. This is like, you generate a CSR, that's a request. Oh, people, you are just linking. That's amazing, thank you. I will check them out in a second. I'm not sure how, since the chat is on another computer, but I haven't figured this one out. Oh my god, I never thought about that. Okay, never mind. So this is actually creating a certificate request, a CSR, which you send to your SSL provider, and they will send you a signed one back, which you then can import. So this is literally for requesting and receiving and the whole shebang. But in case of Home Assistant, you probably run Let's Encrypt, right? Or DocDNS, which has Let's Encrypt on board. And it will take care of you for the certificate. So you want to import the key and the cert file. Okay, so let's look at those links, Chavi and Arian. Using Let's Encrypt to secure hosted. I'm reading this out loud. I can't move this. Can I copy and paste this? Does this work over computers? Oh, it actually works. That's amazing. I must explain. I'm running on 2 different computers. On my right, I have my my MacBook Pro, and I'm looking at my iMac. And those are not. Yeah, well, they are connected to the same Wi-Fi and to the same keyboard and mouse, but they are not connected like in screens. So I cannot just drag things over. But I use an awesome tool. It's called Synergy. And Synergy is actually my iMac as a host. And I have clients on different machines I have here. So it's actually like having a second screen. You can just move your mouse into the other computer, which is pretty cool. It doesn't matter which platform it's running. It will just detect your mouse is going off screen to the other device and will move your controls to the other computer. It's just 100% software solution, which is absolutely great. So if you into those weird kinds of things, Synergy 2 must have drag and drop, that's true, but I have a Synergy 1 license and I'm too... well, yeah, it costs money, right? And I'm a Dutch guy, and if you know anything about Dutch guys, those guys, well, they don't like spending money. Installing a custom SSL certificate. Ah, okay. Yeah, so that's the thing he is doing. Interesting. So since you cannot do this apparently in the UniFi interface, the only way to offer SSL to our users is by going this route. And thank you so much, guys, for sending in these links, because that's a great help. And yeah, this makes totally sense. Like generating a PKCS certificate. Like, this is amazing. But we need a CA file, which I do not have at this moment. I'm not sure if I actually need one. But that's probably the reason why that other guy had that thingy in there. Like this one. No, this is the temp certificate. Okay. I'm going to dive into this later, but I'm going to store this because we need to fix this, right? This is something we need to do. There's no way around it. Okay, so I'm going to create a new folder, a new file, and let's call it 30 or something. 30 SSL seems to be fine. I think I hear something. No, it's still quiet upstairs. Okay, so we need to do something with SSL, that's for sure right now. So handles SSL configurations, and for now I'm just going to put in those 2 awesome links you guys sent me. That's a great help. Let's see. Generating, load search into, yeah, this is kind of the same thing, right? But this is UniFi video. Okay, this is something else, but I assume it works the same, right? Okay, let's store this as well. Amazing, thank you. That's really helpful. Okay, portainer, let's go in here. Okay, and I think this is helpful as well. So let's store this one as well, so we can find it quick and easy. And this would be really hard to test, right? Since in my test setup, I don't have any valid SSL certificates. And without opening the stuff up to the internet, I won't be able to as well. So I think I need to try this with my, and develop this with my actual production system, which I'm not going to do on screen, by the way, and on stream. If you... Okay, let's focus on the data so we can actually hook up this thingy. Persist data. So we figured out we need to probably need some of these, like the data folder, which we need in a whole. Like I need this whole thing, right? Here's the sites, which is a default site. So that's cool. Everything is in here. So we need to persist this folder. That's, yeah, let's do that. We're going to persist that whole folder. And in Home Assistant, you have a folder called data, /data. And /data is the thing you can use for an add-on to store data in, which is why it's called data. Has been file, no, directory exists, like /data data. Let's call it data, since this is the data folder, or should I call it UniFi? Let's call it UniFi data, that's more clear. Data, UniFi data. And then, so if it not exists, if the folder does not exist, we should create it, right? So let's start there. Let's create a folder. Okay. Next, we need the contents that's currently in the user lib UniFi /data, and move it into. I could move it. No, I should not move it. Can I do, is there any, yeah, I can simply do this. Let's do this. Data /UniFi data. So this actually copies the whole thing in. And secondly, once it's there, we have to make sure it's being used, right? So that's the next thing. And in order to fool around, we're going to remove the old one. Every time we boot, we check if the data folder exists in our persistent data storage. And in case there is, we're going to delete the current folder. No, not the data folder. Come on, wake up, guy. User lib UniFi /data. And then we're going to symlink. Yeah, that's nasty, but it works every freaking single time, and that's pretty awesome. What this does is creating a relation between this new location where we persistently store the data and creating some kind of fake. It's a symlink. It's like the Windows shortcut or something. It's a pretty bad comparison, but okay. It creates a folder here that actually is stored there. That's what this line says, like in easy terms. So this little piece of code actually makes the data persist. That's it. Remove this one. So we have the run folder, And I'm still not sure what's in the work folder. Like, do I need this? Would I need it? It's pretty exciting though. Let's look at this one, this guy again. Oh, that's wrong. Oh, his add-on is pretty popular, by the way, so it must be good. That's okay. Let's look in the Docker file. He specified some stuff in there. He's installing in a different location. Like, look, this is the base there. Okay, this is the data there. It's the log there. Search. Run. Oh, data. Yeah, this is about the only thing that's important. Like, he doesn't store the work directory, right? And he's not storing the run directory as well. Interesting. Let's try it this way. Let's just persist this so we can hook up my my UniFi and explore what happens, right? So I changed this. Let me put something in here. It must be doing something like echo. No, has been logged, been debugged, been info. This must be fixing SSL in the future. That's pretty okay. I'm still thinking I'm pretty sure I should persist this one. I'm going to persist the update file. I think it's just better. Let's do that. If not, has been directory. If not, hash print file exists. Data slash UniFi slash run slash update.json. Then create directory slash user slash lib. No, slash data slash UniFi slash run. Okay, we need it. Then copy in the file that's in the Docker container, which is not persistent. So every time you start the Docker container, it would be the same, right? I'm not sure if I have one at this point, so we're going to find out. So that should handle that part pretty well. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, so let's try this out. Let's disconnect from this container since we're going to build a new one. This one will be no longer valid. Am I still interested in this properties file? Like, this is for ports, but we're already handling the ports, so I don't guess so. Nah. We could set the auto backup there, but we could symlink as well, which would be more non-intrusive, I guess. I'm going to close up this one as well. Okay, UniFi, bye-bye. Okay, let's stop it. And this is part of the magic I'm using with my Vagrant setup. We created some changes. I'm going to hit rebuild. And now the add-on will rebuild according to these changes. Ah, you pasted it to via Discord, which is amazing. Thank you, guy. Okay, while this is building, I'm going to visit the little room pretty quick. So I'll be right back.
En de schoentjes beneden staan dan of staan ze boven?
Sorry?
En de schoentjes beneden staan?
Staan daar denk ik wel, ja. Niet zeker. Sorry about that. Back again. My fiancé came home, so I had to say hi as well. Okay, but the build finished. That's a good thing. Let's see if we succeeded in persisting data.
Ja, maar deze zijn nou ook heel snel. 26.
Yeah. Okay, it's starting. Okay, and it died. Since there is no data. Interesting. So there is actually no data when starting the thing at first. That's cool. So that means we don't have to do all this. We don't have to copy. Okay. Let's rebuild again. You guys are pretty helpful tonight, but I'm missing some questions and stuff. Usually the guys are jumping in and how do you do this and why are you doing that? Let me look at GitHub if there's any activity there. No, yeah, there's this ticket. I'm not sure what to do about it. Okay. Twitter. Hello, Twitter. Oh, yesterday there was a Pylonium, which is a conference in which Robin Cole actually talked about Home Assistant, which is pretty cool. Wow, is the rebuild finished already? That's quick. But I'm going to look at Robin Cole. He published his sheets. Let's check it out. Let's check out Robin's sheets. Because if I'm correctly, he's showing an add-on which is not released yet. Yada 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 yada. Introducing Home Assistant. Well, you guys know what it is, right? UI. Home Assistant configuration, yeah. Pretty cool. Graphs. Yeah, look at this, Grafana, which is one of mine, right? Yeah, this is Jupyter Lab, which I'm currently developing. That's pretty cool. Has Detective, which is one of the things he's working on. Yeah, this is cool stuff. He's working on pretty intensive stuff, like data analysis and well, image processing as well, like recognition stuff. And that's pretty cool. You should definitely check out his work. It's pretty amazing. Bird, not bird. Like, how cool is that? It's pretty useful. Okay, drifted away. Let's stop this. Okay, so UniFi started. Let's look at how it rebuilt. Let's see if it runs now. So there's no update as well. Okay, well, in that case, yeah, this could be a problem, since if update doesn't exist yet, what should I put in place? Okay, this is... We're going to save this one for later on, since I cannot copy it. I could create a run there, but I could symlink some kind of fake empty JSON file, which probably then would cause an error since he expects data in it. Okay, I'm going to ignore this one for now. But if it does not exist, but he still creates it, it will be proficient on start, right? So if it's missing, it will populate it on start. So this is unnecessary. Yeah, it's unnecessary. Get it out of the way. Okay. Rebuild it again, please. And you can see the build actually happen in the system tab. Like over here. Start building local UniFi dev. That shows like it's triggering Docker to actually build it. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's go back into the add-on that's still building. And if I succeed in persisting data, I will definitely call this a night, which is pretty good progress. Like we learned a lot. Like we figured out the SSL stuff a little, which still has to be built, but we figured some things out, right? And we figured out how the data is actually stored, which is hopefully this will work. Like those are the two parts we have to do. That's the only two parts we have to do. So that was pretty good, I guess. Start it. Yeah, it starts. And I wonder if any data is actually being stored. We could check that out. And in order to be doing that, I would need access to the Vagrant machine itself, which is pretty interesting. Vagrant SSH. Let's go into the machine itself. Let's make ourselves root. Like user share hash IO, I think the directory was. Yeah, it's in here. Add-on data local UniFi. That's the local UniFi add-on. You can see the options in here. And look at this. There's data. And there's the data. So the data is actually available on disk outside of the Docker container. But what's that run folder? Oh, it was created in a previous thingy, so it's empty. I think I can remove it safely. So this is the UniFi data, which is now outside of the Docker container, which is exactly what we wanted to have, right? Let's open the interface and let's adopt this this UniFi thingy we have right here. We're in the Netherlands. I'm in the Netherlands. Is there Amsterdam in here? Yeah, there is. Let's do a backup indeed. Let's pick up this one. Okay, let's give it an SSD like I'm Home Assistant. That's a pretty nice SSD to have with a security key, which I think I should not tell you, but since this is a test system, whatever. Let's give it hash IO and small. Oh, you have an opinion, right? Home Assistant. Home Assistant, Home Assistant. Seems fine to me. Admin name is admin. The password is Home Assistant. Oh, that's not the password. This is the admin email. Like admin@example.com. The password must be complicated, probably. Something I won't forget. Like, this is hidden, right? Yeah, it's hidden. Let me use an actual password here. There we go. Okay. No, I'm not going to sign up online. Ba, ba, ba. Here we go. Nice. Not sure why this is pending actively. Oh, it's adopting, so it's actually provisioning right now or something. Okay, cool. So what does it mean, and how long does it take, and how does it work? Is it listed somewhere? Oh, some kids are having fun on TV. How long does this adopting thing take? How does it work? How would you know it's actually doing that? It will probably be adopting every time you start up. Seriously? Okay. Disconnected. Well, that's not a good thing. Or is it? Like it's rebooting or something? Is it doing something? No, it's now adopting again. This is not totally going as expected. Nevertheless, still, the network I use in Vagrant could be an issue. Like the Aircast and the Air Sonos thingy is also an issue. Like it might be, since the Vagrant container actually has two interfaces. One is bridged from my host machine, and the other is actually no, one is, yeah, and the other is a NAT. So there are two interfaces in there, I guess. Let me check. Let me check VirtualBox. And the thing happening here could be that it's using the wrong interface to try to fix this. Like, oh, there are even three. Like, I'm bridged over Wi-Fi, I have a host-only adapter, and I have an NAT. Like, that could be an issue. Is there a way to tell it what to use? If so, that would be a configuration parameter. Since people running this on virtual machines could be running into problems in that case, right? And there are some people actually running a hash IO on a virtual machine. But if you do, why would you actually use the add-on? But that's another question. Interesting. I'm going to get into the machine again and see if I can find out anything. Like, but since this is not running on the host network, like this is a Docker container that uses bridged ports, it should not be aware of that. Unless I'm running it as a host on the host network, like the same network as Docker is, like in a host computer. I hear a ping. What's this ping? Ping! Oh, Grambo, 1966. Thank you for the follow, man. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Really cool. Welcome to the club. Okay, this add-on is going to be pretty hard. So that explains probably why it doesn't exist yet. Oh, this does. Let me refresh. Let's go into the container. Let me see if there's something here. Like the update, we know we should not touch that one. The data contains the system properties, right? Get update. I want to have an editor, which is not in the Docker container at this moment. So let's install VI so we can actually edit files and look at it. Here it goes. System properties. Is there anything in here that tells me something about... No. There's nothing in here that tells me anything about this. And it should not. Yet again. Interesting. So UniFi fails to adopt. UniFi fails to adopt. Stuck in adoption state. Okay. So this is not helpful at all. The only thing it says, refresh the page, which we didn't do yet, so that makes kind of bit sense, but I'm afraid that won't help. Yeah. Interesting. Let's take a look at this guy's setup. So this guy actually used the entry point. Let's check his entry point. And is he doing some magic before starting? Try setting a host name. Oh, that's actually a pretty freaking good idea. That's a pretty good idea. But I don't have a host name. That might be part of the issue, right? Check override inform host. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense at all. That makes sense. It's probably in the controller, right? Yeah. Confirm. Apply. Okay. Is it applied already, or do I need to restart it? I use the IP of my controller. Well, this is the IP. Yeah, that did the trick, Shabby. Oh my god, thank you, man. That's cool. But I definitely need to remember this, because it would actually be needed for the Home Assistant guys. It would be even more awesome if we find out where it's stored, right? So we can set it from the get-go. But it's probably in the MongoDB, which I'm not going to touch. Like, this is only map data. Let's see, pretty big. Let's not open it with the editor. So it's probably in MongoDB. DataDB. And I have zero experience with MongoDB, so that would be interesting. But we can put this in the instructions. Yeah, we should, because on startup we won't have a DB present yet, so that's the only way. But yeah, I'm going to make a note in the documentation, which does not exist yet. But let's add a chapter here, like in the top, notes, document how to set the controller hostname / IP in order to fix the exposed Not sure how is it called actually. The way the controller informs its devices. Wow, thank you, man. That's really helpful. So it actually works. So the thing, back to square one. The thing why we came here is to adopt an actually device. Let me see if it shows up in my Wi-Fi. Come on, do something. Yeah, there it is. Home Assistant. Oh, it's behind the camera. You can't see it, but it's there. Believe me. Okay. So the question now is, does this data retain across a reboot? So I'm going to stop it. I hear another pling. Mao54. Thank you for the follow, man. That's really appreciated. Glad to have you aboard. Okay. So we stopped it. Let's start and let's see if the AP is still adopted and I still can log in with my credentials and stuff. So starting it. Well, it started. Yeah. So far so good. Well, look at this. This is amazing. So actually this was pretty easy. It's always easy when you know where to look, right? Nice. That's cool. I hear another pling. What's this pling this time? I'm always. Thomas Gregg, thank you for the follow, man. Thank you. Welcome aboard. Thank you. Really appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying it. And oh, I've chatted. I replied to a topic of him today. He was asking about the ID add-on we released yesterday, and he was suggesting for. He was giving a suggestion for adding things in it. Like, yeah, here he is. Yeah, he suggested by adding a possibility to check the configuration and the Home Assistant server restart. He suggested to add buttons in the menu, but they were already there. So I've pointed him to the broadcasts of yesterday, which are on YouTube as well now, by the way. So go to youtube.com/Frank, subscribe, and you can see all episodes. Like on Twitch, the episodes are only available for a couple of weeks, I guess, but I have archived them to YouTube as well now, so they're up on my YouTube account, and I linked to that. So yeah, awesome indeed. You're welcome, and thanks for the great suggestion, by the way. That's a good suggestion. Too bad it was already in, but if it wasn't, I would have built it. But hi, welcome to the club, I guess. Okay. Well, the thing I really wanted to do tonight is like the persist data. It's succeeded. The SSL thingy, that's going to be a thing I'm going to do offline, since it would actually require me to use my actual search I use for my connection here at home. So that's not something I'm going to do on stream. While I do appreciate all the help, and I've documented some of the URLs that are helpful and helping me in this to build this, I'm not going to build this on stream. I hope you agree on this and understand why. So far it's going perfect. I know what to document, I know what to do. It's like one final step and then trying to set it up. What I could do is put it up online already. Should I? like creating a development version already. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that as the final step of tonight. Okay, so this is the GitLab file, and I haven't set up GitLab yet, so that's an issue. And I'm not sure if there are credentials involved in here. As in, is it safe to do on stream? Okay, I will go into to a talk session screen and then hook it up, and then switch back into the live screen in order to prevent I'm showing keys and stuff, which is not a thing I like to do. But okay. GitHub.com. This add-on is actually based on Ubuntu, so I'm going to copy in a file from another add-on that's using Ubuntu. Since this GitLab CI file is outdated, I don't use this method anymore since a week or so. So let's update it. Like, this is the new one. I've updated today, like 12 hours ago. And let's paste in this new one. Let's get it all. Okay. So let's change the settings, which are in the top. So that should be it. That's all I need to do. There's one little thing in here, and that's the deploy. And the deploy has a backwards compatibility thingy for already existing add-ons. But since this is a brand spanking new add-on, I'm not going to use the compatibility thingy. So that can be removed. Yeah. Amazing. This is it. So even without the SSL, it would already work, right? This is okay now, and the requirements is kind of okay. They won't work since they won't do anything, but yeah, it could be used already. And I could test it on a Pi if it builds, right? Okay, I'm not going to add a README, I'm just going to add some files. Let's go. Git status. Where are we at? I'm going to open up source tree and add it, since I want to be selectively adding files, which I could do on a command line, but it's so much easier using a graphical tool. And this is actually the only thing I'm using source tree for, just selecting things. Here we go. Okay. So here's a list of files we didn't add yet. So let's add this build file. Let's add the config we need, which is still lorem ipsum, but okay. This is the actual Docker file. Let's add the icons, the requirements file. Let's add the persist data file. The services, of course, we need to be able to be starting it. This is actually a screenshot of Influx, so let's skip that one for now. And we're going to need the build file to actually get the thing building. So that's a pretty nice selection. This one I'll leave open for now. Let's close up source tree. So these files are actually staged now. Look at this. And this is why I like source tree. It's just easy to do. Okay, let's commit this as sparkles initial add-on code, since this is the initial add-on code. Sign it with my GPG. Here we go. Before I push it, I need to set up some stuff, like GitLab. I use GitLab as my build environment for add-ons. We need to go into GitHub as well. UniFi. Okay, and I need to update my repository in order to accept the new add-on. And I'm going to update the Edge repository, which contains all the latest builds, like on every commit. And since we're not releasing the add-on at this moment, this is the only one I'm going to update. Now let's get in the latest changes. Here we go. And let's edit a file which actually lists all the add-ons. Okay, it's going to be the last one in the list. Let's add UniFi, which its repository. The GitHub repository is called #addon/addon/UniFi. Right. The target is actually the file folder in which the add-on is in the repository, which is UniFi. And the resulting image it's going to build for Docker Hub is going to be /UniFi. And this is different from the add-ons above. Like there's an arch in here, like the architecture. This is magically replaced by hash.io. But this is a new breadth of add-on, which uses my new build system. So it doesn't have to differentiate the different architectures anymore. That's pretty cool. It uses a native functionality of Docker now. So I'm going to use that for this add-on, and it gives me a nice way to test it on a Pi as well. So let's do this. Okay, so this one is in, this is in place. I now have to set up GitLab, and I truly want to show you guys, but I think I should not, because there is a possibility of showing stuff you guys shouldn't see. And while I like to show you everything, I have to be careful, right? So in GitLab, I will create a new project, create a new CI/CD project, which is a continuous integration and continuous delivery for an external repository. In this case, the add-on is hosted on GitHub, right? And I want to leave it at GitHub since GitHub is fucking awesome. But GitLab CI is also awesome, so we're going to use them together. So at this stage I'm going to switch to another screen, and I'm going to describe what's happening. Okay, let me ensure the switch actually worked. I don't think it's working, is it? Let me get OBS. Where's OBS? Yeah, it didn't work. Okay, let me switch to this. Okay, so I'm going to click the GitHub button in GitLab, and that gives me a 500 error page. So this is amazing. This is so super secret. Okay, now it works. It shows my private repos as well, so I was already expecting that a little. Add-on UniFi. Let's add it. Connect. So I'm now selecting the Hasio add-on UniFi and hitting the connect button. And what it does, it will set up the repository for me automatically, which is an amazing feature from GitLab. Okay, I need to change a couple of settings in the repository, which indeed shows a private key, which is a okay, V-star. This just takes a minute. Yeah, so this is there. I will publish the project as public so you guys can see it on GitLab in case you want to. Saving it. Disable the email thingy. I don't want those emails. And now I have to set up the continuous integration, which I can show you guys. Let me switch back. Here we go. back in town. Hi. Okay, so what it did actually is it imported the actual repository. See, they're now the same, which is pretty cool. And this is the continuous integration thing I use. And if you take a look at pipelines, it's now empty, and we need to set it up. So what we're going to do is check the runners, and runners are actually the things that are building the stuff for us. And GitLab currently provides some shared runners on different instances, which we're not going to use, since I use my own servers to build stuff which have special configurations and also have special CPUs, like an ARM CPU for the Raspberry Pi builds, which is much faster than emulating a CPU, which I did before. Okay, we're going to enable add-on server number 4, going to enable add-on server number 3. Let's enable them all. Okay. So I've enabled all my servers, which are four servers, 2 Intels and 1 ARM 32 bits and 1 ARM 46 bits, which are labeled as well. Like there are these tags in here, and depending on the tags in my build script, it triggers the right server. Like look at this. Like in here, like the build job for ARM HF, it has 2 tags. It has build and it has ARM HF, which means that only servers that are having both of these tags will be able to build this one. And there's only one which has both, like this one. Add-ons number 4 has both these tags. So the build task, this build task specifically, is sent to this machine. That's a little bit how it works. So I've enabled everything we need to do. I've created a GitLab project. I've hooked it up to GitHub. I've set up the servers, the runners. So we could start building it now, which is actually the fun part, right? And the most fun part would be if it just failed, because it would give us things to fix and things to improve. I could do this checks locally, but for the sake of the example and things of showing you guys what it actually does, I'm going to take a deep dive and just try, commit it and send it out and see if the build actually works or something. Let's see. So I've committed this stuff. Let's push it out. There we go. It's pushing it out to GitHub. So code should show up here now. There it is, UniFi. There's code. And GitLab, it should show up as well. It could take a couple of seconds, but it should show up. I've noticed that the first time it actually takes longer. I'm not sure why. Oh, there it is. The code showed up. So it's in sync now. And that's exactly what we wanted. And if I'm lucky, the pipeline will start. Here it is. It starts building. Let's see what it's doing. There we go. Oh, we actually passed the first test already. That's great. Oh, look at that. It passed all. Damn. We did a good job. So it actually starts building now for all architectures. That's something I haven't done before. So like on my machine, we build it for AMD 64, but it could fail on the others. I don't know. Let's see. We can actually watch one. Let's watch this one. Like this is... Okay, so it's downloading the Ubuntu base image. And it started up. And it's now updating the packages. So, cool. And GitLab has actually all my credentials and other stuff that's injected into this build process in order to be able to upload, for example, upload the resulting build image into Docker Hub. I'm going to open the UniFi interface, by the way, in a different screen, since I'm pretty excited about what's in it. I haven't seen this thing actually in a working state yet. Like, there's an awful lot of stuff in here. That's pretty cool, right? I do have some pretty decent Wi-Fi devices, but this is something totally different. Like, I know Shabby has such devices, but do some people have, other people in this chat have devices from UniFi, and do you like them? Like, do you have any tips for me or something? Like, don't drop them in water, or other tips and tricks. Cool. Like, I can control radios and channel width, okay. Which is pretty narrow by default. Okay. You can group them, okay. Oh. It actually built successfully, guys. Successfully built. It's now pushing away the build result. Amazing. Nice. Wireless uplinks. When enabled, UniFi IP can automatically mesh roam to maintain the quality of your network. Oh. Oh wow. So if the cable, the Ethernet cable actually fails, it will... Jensa, need to go. Have a good night. Yeah, you too, man. Thank you for watching. So if the uplink actually fails, it will try to mesh? Is that what it is? Wow. I haven't seen that feature. Haven't seen that feature on other devices. What's this? This device... I'm not sure what this is. Seems cool and stuff. Open a terminal to this device. Does that work? Oh wow. So you actually get into Ash. It's running a BusyBox, yeah. Cool. That's pretty great. I like that level of control. I like that. Oh wow, the build succeeded. Look at this. So let's see if how the other jobs are going. Oh. Huh? 3 of the 4 already passed. And this is always the slow one, and usually the most annoying one of this. Since this is actually the CPU that is used by the Raspberry Pi upon 3, not the 3B plus thingy, but yeah. So that's pretty cool. Cool. What else can I do here? Look at some details. The uplink. Yeah. Gigabit, of course. Channel 6 and 40. I wonder how he determines it. Is this a default or did he look for it? Performance. Like, these things are pretty extensive. Holy hell, what is this? Why is what guys? What the hell is this? This is not my home. Okay. What does this button do? It has no highlight. I'm not sure. Place devices. Oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure what to do with this yet. It seems cool. Like a map. Ah, the UniFi security gateway. Yep, not going to do that. Nice. Oh, it changed channels automatically. That's for sure. What is taking so long, man? It's pushing already. It's done. It has been successfully built as well. This is pretty cool. This actually means if you guys want to try it out, if all goes... Oh, I need to push the Edge repository. Better be quick. But if it all goes well, you guys could actually try it out on your own machine already after this finishes. Even though it's not released yet, you would be able to try it out. Maybe get some. Maybe I can get some feedback already. Like, okay, let's check the difference. Repository. It's written correctly, right? Yeah, it's written correctly. Let's add it. Sparkles. Let's see if I still have. Commit message. That makes sense. Yeah, add UniFi controller, add on to configuration. So I'm going to push this out into the Edge repository, which is this one. github.com/hash add-on/repository -edge. Go to map and place the EP and click coverage at the top to see the prediction on the map. Predicted coverage. Oh, that's cool. Okay, getting in there. I just committed to this repository. This is the Edge repository, which can be added to your Home Assistant instance just like the normal repository that's in by default nowadays. But if you add this one, it will give you access to the latest builds. Like each commit I make, an update will be available, and I would definitely not recommend it for production. But if you like to test something, you could just install it. So if this build process finishes, like the whole pipeline, you could add this to your machine and get access to the UniFi add-on, which is not in the list yet, but my bot will update that in a sec. If everything succeeds. I'm still not there, right? Okay. Okay, let's go to map. What shabby, let me see. Go to map, place the AP, I already did, and click coverage in the top. Is that something in here? Oh. 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 So this is helping you plan. Right? If I should be able to upload a map as well, then I think. Configure map. Yeah. So I could upload a map of my house in here. Cool. No. Okay, cool. So this helps you planning, actually. Cool. Will show correct only once you set the scale on the map. Yeah, that's kind of obvious, right? So you have to set the scale, draw a line by clicking and dragging. And let's assume this is 10 meters. Right. So now if you actually the correct range. Okay, I understand. Thank you. That's really helpful. This is a cool piece. Oh, wait. You can actually, you can place virtual devices like planning ahead. Oh, that's smart. That's called product placement. Like you can actually praise the product. Wow. APAC Pro. So what's different between this one and this one? This is an AC Pro as well, right? So this is my actual device, which is a UniFi APAC Pro. So now I put in a virtual device, which is a UniFi APAC Pro as well, which has a much bigger range. A little weird. Those are the HD devices. Those are new. I couldn't buy them. These are insane. Interesting. Okay, so the build process is now scanning the resulting image that is built. So it's a Docker image, and add-on is a Docker container. And that container is actually scanned for security issues. And it probably would show a lot since it's running Ubuntu. But I check them from time to time. And this build step is way longer than usual since it's the first time it's running, so it cannot rely on caching yet, since this is the first run. This is creating the cache, right? Oh, that's pretty cool. This is pretty great piece of software. Okay, the first Claire scan finished. Oh, they all finished now. So it's not actually going to deploy it. Like they all passed. Like there are no issues in here. That's amazing. Yeah, it contains no unapproved vulnerabilities. Job succeeded. That's great. So, and it passes all the checks. It did finish builds on all the architectures, and now it even finishes the security scans, which is cool. So what's it doing now? It's now at the stage of deploying, or even better, uploading all the resulting Docker containers into Docker Hub. That's what it's doing right now. It pulls it down from GitLab, like this is where it's stored temporarily, and it pulls it down now. As soon as it pulls it down, it will push it out again, but this time into Docker Hub as a release kind of thing. Actually, the deployment into the cloud. There it goes. It goes into Hash.io add-ons UniFi. It's compiling. Job succeeded. Nice. So 2 out of 4 are already deployed. And if the stage is finished, it will start creating a manifest. And what this does is taking those 4 images and combine it into one. Like I already said earlier, there's this reference in this file, right? Like the previous add-ons already all used this, like having a unique Docker container for each architecture. My new setup, which you're looking at right now, and this is the first add-on I will be applying this. The architecture is gone. And in order to do that, it will have to be merged into like one descriptive virtual container or something like that. So it's now uploading those 4 containers for each architecture one. So that's 4. But in order for them to be as one as a whole, you need a manifest file. This manifest file contains descriptions like, oh, if you're an AMD 64, you'll need to download these layers to actually work. But if you are an ARM HF processor CPU, then you would need these layers. So the combining process, like a Docker push, is actually pushing up file layers. So each command is a layer, and those are pushed out individually. And this manifest file is combining them in one like virtual image. I hope this makes sense at all, by the way. And that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I hope it works. It's pretty experimental, so I'm taking a little risk here. So why are you taking so long? It hasn't even pulled yet. It's not finished pulling. It still have to start upload. And like this one, same story. Not sure why. Like, which machine is this building on? Hashout 3. Number 3, that is an ARM machine. It's the ARM 64 bits machine. Is it slower with these operations? If so, I'd probably be better off disabling those operations on the ARM server. I can't wait to put these things in my house, by the way. I should arrange for a map of my house, I guess. This is taking way too long. This is not as it should be. I'm almost thinking I should actually disable this thing, but if I do, I would show keys again, so I'm not going to do that on screen. So guys, I see 12 viewers at this moment. How are you? I'm just wondering, why are you actually watching me? Like, what's the trigger to keep watching? I would be really interested in that, by the way. There aren't that many programmer streams, I guess, but I hate this. Why does it take so long? Like, this is 3, and this is the ARM HF. This is also executed at 3, but it's going. So I'm going to disable this. Main reason for me would be to see if I can pick up some tips to utilize GitLab better. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's an awful lot of options in there. In GitLab, I really love that tool. But yet again, I already told in the 2 earlier streams, like, it cannot replace GitHub at this moment, if you ask me, since the whole social aspect is just missing. It's just missing. But if you go feature-wise and all those possibilities that are in there, it's like, wow. Fascinating to watch your process. Yeah, I'm not sure if this actually qualifies as my usual process, since this involves a couple of pretty unknown ground. Like, at first this thing is new. I don't know anything about it. And yeah, as said, the software, it needs Java, it needs MongoDB, and it needs an older version of MongoDB, which is not available in the Ubuntu version I'm using. I'm using the latest and greatest Ubuntu in my add-ons, like Bionic, which is Ubuntu 18.04, which does not have MongoDB available in a version that UniFi accepts. Secondly, add-ons are available for 4 different architectures, like ARM and Intel based, and 32 bits and 64 bits. So all these things combined is just one big brain damaged thing. So I would not qualify this as the usual, my usual process. This is more like exploration coding, and I normally plan ahead a lot. If you would see me writing things I already knew, then during the writing I would already think about things in the future and write it out. And currently, that's impossible since I don't know what I'm doing. that sounds wrong, but I guess I think you know what I mean. But glad you find it fascinating. I find this whole thing fascinating, like this map thing and this whole product, by the way. But thanks for the reasoning, Grambo. Okay, so the deploy actually finished. It's now going into building the manifest file. So let's take a look at the manifest for the edge. I think we all go to the brain thing with Home Assistant. Yeah, no. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've not been there. I don't know if you guys know, but I don't use it. Is this a shocker? Okay. I wouldn't know. I actually don't know how it works. I can build Docker containers, I can build add-ons, but I know how Python works. But I don't know how Home Assistant works. So everything is ready, and what now is happening now? It's building the repository like this one we talked about. It's building it right now, and it would in the end say, I found a new add-on, UniFi. It has an update, and it will build it. And right now, look, it's not in. Job succeeded. Let me refresh. Let's see. There it is. That's the GitLab magic. And look at this pretty description. Okay, but this is the Edge repository, so it's perfectly fine. It's totally allowed. But this would actually give me an opportunity to test it on an actual Raspberry Pi. Let's try. Let's go into hash.local, in my case, which is Raspberry Pi 3. Let's go into the add-on store. Let's refresh it. MC Freud. One thing that makes it seem better to lower the resolution on the stream and jump between windows. Right. No, it's almost impossible to watch on my 25-inch TV on mobile. Those are two totally different things, right? But it's a good tip. Thank you. I have not realized that, but my iMac has a pretty high resolution, right? And since I'm still working at native resolution and stream would be 1080p, that would be squashed and squeezed, right? Yeah. Thank you, mate. That's a pretty good good thing. I will consider it for the next stream. I would totally consider that. Thank you. Okay, so it's put out. Let's see if it's in there now. Look at it. Here it is. The Edge community hash add-ons, and here's the UniFi control on my Pi. Hard to read anything. Yeah, I can imagine. You're the first one mentioning it, by the way. I should look at my own streams, I guess. I could do that, by the way. I have a laptop right over here. Yeah, it's a little bit tiny. Yeah, I can totally see that. Okay, I will consider that. So this is my Raspberry Pi, and the add-on has been published in the Edge repository, so I could actually now install it. Let's try. Let's see if it works. Shabby, it's fine to read. Okay, so there's but I can imagine it's a little bit small for some people. I think it also has to do... Nah, I don't think so. Yeah, could be stream compression. Not sure. How is my stream quality actually? It's okay. It's excellent according to the Twitch inspector, which I think I should accept as, yeah, decent. Okay, so the Pi is a little slower. I'm watching at a 24-inch monitor at full screen next to my main monitor. At 1080p, I guess then. Or do you have a higher resolution? Shabby. Because that would actually... No, it would not make a difference since it's all... Since it is 1080p actually going online, right? But what I could do is just match the resolution. Like if I scale down my screen to 1080p, it would be actually straight what you guys are seeing, which would be better, right? I think if I try to do that now, the stream will go broken, so I'm going to refrain from that at this moment. But I'm sure going to try that next stream. Might be actually a good idea. How big is this thing actually? I haven't checked. 1920 1200, yeah, that's almost, it's a little more than HD. I haven't checked how big this guy is. Like Docker images, how big is it? Oh, Docker isn't running. I cannot check it here, right? Let's check in Portainer. Portainer could tell. Portainer should be able to tell me that. Let me see. Images. Like, oh my god, that's pretty big, right? Like it's over 500 megabytes. Okay, so that kinda explains why this is taking a little. That's the thing to keep in mind. Come on. I'm really excited. I want to know if it works. If this actually will start on a Pi. Because that's kind of the target audience, right? Let's see if something is happening in the home automation worlds. Two friends of mine swear by cassette switches. A person still a fan of adapting HomeKit using the Homebridge assistant CSL. Yeah. Oh, look at this. There it is. Let's see if it starts. I'm so excited about this. Screenshots of my mobile. Yeah, mobile. I can imagine. I cannot do much about mobile, I guess. It's like the tiny screen. Let's see. I'm going to put it on screen, right? Since you pasted in the chat, everybody could request it already. Yeah, it is readable, but it's like, this is a scaling thing. And this is just bitrate. I guess this is your mobile. I guess this one is your mobile. I guess the stream is compressed more on mobile. This is actually a scaling thing. Okay. But thank you for sharing this, man. Okay, let's try to start the add-on on a Pi. That would be amazing if it worked. It would be amazing if it crashes as well, so we have something more to do. Like, it's crashing. It's actually crashing. Oh, nice. It's actually crashing. Let's see what's wrong. Okay, this is something... Port 1900 is already allocated. That's correct. That is used by... I think Air Sonos is using this as well. Let's stop this one. I've been testing with this thing. Air Sonos is for... I think he is using it. I get another link. What's in here? Copy link address. What the hell is this thing? Yeah, it's kind of the same. Wow, that's sharp. That's actually pretty sharp, man. Not sure. But I still think the guy has a point, Shabby. Okay, nevertheless, let's see if it starts now. I think the 1900 port was used by actually by Air Sonos. And still fails. Why? Oh, Plex Media Server. It uses this as well. Right? Yeah, look at this. Plex Media Server. Okay. Let's try it again. Come on. Boot. Oh. It's starting the UniFi controller on a Pi. Look at this. That's pretty great. Site cannot be reached. I guess it takes a little longer to actually start, since the Pi is not that powerful. But unfortunately, the UniFi controller software does not output to the console, so it won't show up here. Oh, it's taking longer. Privacy error, that's what I expected. Let's go. Hell yeah, it starts. Yeah, no devices, that's to be expected, right? Admin example. I'm going to use a password. On my laptop, in my knee, I can read fine. I just like to consume most of my Twitch screen on my TV and video shoot too. Ah, okay, I can imagine. I'm going to address it though. Yeah, nice. It's working. That's pretty cool. So we actually did two pretty cool things tonight. We created data persistence in the UniFi add-on, and we actually set up GitLab and the whole continuous integration and continuous delivery thingy. We get it out to Docker Hub and added it to the Edge repository as well, and we tested it on a Pi. Like, that's pretty much for one night, to be honest. Like, especially since this thing is actually pretty hard. We had to do some research, some trial and error. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the result for tonight. So I think I'm going to leave it at this for tonight. If you haven't already, I think there's a subscribe button in the button, or a follow button or something in Twitch. What is it called? Follow? Be sure to hit it. I'm